ladies and gentlemen, and what a lovely morning it is. Today, this video is to give you an update on my last two major projects, which is to say my water filtration system and my composting toilet solution. So, without further ado, let's pop inside and we will have a look at what I've done to test my water system. Okay, so here we have a drinking water test kit, a glass of water drawn directly from the pump before it went into the tank, and a jug of water which has been sitting in the tank for a few days. And for some reason or other, some peanut butter. We won't be using that in the test. So, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at these dip kits, and we are going to go through them, and we are going to see if the water which comes out of the pump and which has been sitting in my tank for a while is in fact fit to drink. So let's unpack the test and have a look. So this is the contents of the kit. We have got first a test for bacteria. That came with two tests. I've actually cheated and done one test already, which I'll tell you about in a minute because it takes 48 hours to complete. We have got tests for nitrites and nitrates. We've got tests for sulfates in general. And we've got a whole bunch of tests here for, let's have a look and see, water hardness, chlorine, iron, mercury, free chlorine and total chlorine, copper, lead, zinc, manganese, quaternary ammonium compounds, fluoride, sodium chloride, hydrogen sulfites, total alkalinity, carbonates and pH. I'm not quite sure why total alkalinity and pH, but there you go. So let's get on and do some of these tests on both types of water, and then we will be able to see what my water quality is like. Okay, so as mentioned before, we're not going to do this bacteria test because I've already done it, and we'll have a look at the results later. So for the nitrates and nitrites test, what we have to do is we have to dunk it for 2 seconds and then remove it and then leave it for a minute. So let's do that. 1, 2, remove, leave horizontal for a minute. For the sulfates test, it has to be dunked for 5 seconds and then left for 2 minutes. And this one you have to shake off any excess fluid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shake off any excess fluid. Leave for 2 minutes. And then with these tests, you have to dunk them for 2 seconds and then leave them for 15 seconds. Oh, come on. Oh, for goodness sake. There we go. Right. So, 1, 2, and then we will leave them for 15 seconds. Right. Now, all of these things are basically colour strip comparisons. So you have to check them up against the colours on this thing. So what we are now going to do is we are going to take our, what you might call before colour strip, and we are going to compare it up against the colours that it should be. And we can see which is reasonably hard. There's very, very low free chlorine or iron. Hold on, I'm trying to hold it so you and I can both see it. Very low mercury, very low chlorine, reasonably low copper, very low lead, reasonably low zinc, very low manganese, towards the higher end of ammonium chloride, but the quaternary compounds, but actually still perfectly all right. Very low fluoride, as you would expect. Very low chloride, as you would expect. Very low sulfates, which is good. Fairly alkaline, but not ridiculous. Quite high levels of carbonates, and a sensible pH. Slightly alkaline, as you would expect. Let's check out the after that's been sitting in my tank for a while. And we basically get very similar results. Good. So in terms of dissolved chemicals, we're all rather good. Now let's check out sulfates. So sulfates, here's the before sulfates, and it is towards the higher end of okay, but basically fine. That's the before, and the after is towards the higher end of okay, but basically fine. Nitrates and nitrites. Oh, hold on, this way up, sorry. Let's have a look and see. Yep, we're fine with nitrates and nitrites. That's the before, that's the after, sorry, and before, oh, I mean nothing at all. So it is gaining for some reason other nitrates and nitrites in the tank, but not so much as it worries me. And then finally, this is the bacterial test. I actually did this is just coming out of the tank because I figured if the tank's all right, then the before water will be fine. And basically, if there were bacteria, you'd expect them to grow and look all yellow. This is more than 48 hours later, absolutely nothing. So, in other words, this water is absolutely fine. Now, the person who sold me the filters, Direct Water Filters to UK, lovely gentleman, does still recommend that you put in a UV bacterial killer, and also that you reverse osmosis or do something else to the water to make it actually drinkable. However, at my own risk, I'm happy to carry on drinking this water. So that's the water filter side sorted. Now it's time to have a look at the toilet side. So, how has the toilet been behaving itself? Well, it's behaving itself really, really well. I'm enjoying it. The tank, as you can see, is nearly full, but that's absolutely fine. The thing that's worth pointing out is this little arrangement at the side here. So, there is a little 5-volt fan on a button here, so I can switch that off and on again. It runs more or less all the time, and it runs off one of these, a power bank. They're very, very cheap. This 10,000 milliamp hour one, I think I bought for a tenner from B&M. I've got several of them. They last about a week on a charge, and whilst one is working, the next one is charging up. And then this thing is a proprietary 2-inch flexible hose, and this thing is a carbon filter, and it's absolutely magnificent because you cannot smell a thing when it's running through there. These carbon filters were, I'm afraid to say, built for a different purpose. As far as I can see, they're built for the purpose of if you want to grow weed in your attic and you don't want the rozzers to find out, you filter the smells through this. However, it works just as well for toilet smells, and overall, this has been an extremely satisfactory process so far. So that is the update on the toilet. That's really all there is to it. Oh, I say one thing. When I showed you this, we originally had a bung that goes into the front to stop the smells. I've basically not used the bung because I have not found that I needed to. It doesn't smell with or without the bung. So I hope that was a nice update for all of you, and next week I shall release a video that is slightly less about the earthier things of life. I shall see you later. If you like these sorts of things, please do like and subscribe. Goodbye.